Hello. Well, you know what they say. Into every life some rain must fall. A bit too much is falling in mine. Not really. It hasn't rained very much of late. So hello everybody. Let me try and scroll a bit and see who's here. Scrolling's difficult because hi Tish and Ronnie and Mark from New York City. Annette, Susan, Madeline, welcome. Catherine, Tom, hi. And hey, Karen and Natalie and Jackie and Trisha. Oh, cool. And Sandy, welcome. Okay, I'm up to date. Hello, everybody. Now, I'd like to show you. This is so funny. Just before half an hour before I started, this was the two weather apps that we have here, showing completely different weather. So the one on the left is the one that I was going for. That was a slightly more optimistic one. Let me try and move that aside. And that showed like no rain now. And then the one on the right is proving to be a little bit more accurate. But anyway, I am armed with a see-through umbrella. So that, I always go for the most optimistic weather forecast. Hey, Tarika's here as well. And Carly, welcome everybody. Some people showing impatience with their car hooters. Hello, Ruth. Welcome. Excuse me. Okay, now, what I want to do is, that's enough of me. There's a huge big argument going on behind me. Okay, I'm going to walk down the left-hand side of the canal and just sort of show some little details which we won't see from the other side, which is where I'm going to be doing most of the talking. So I zoomed in. Yeah, I was zoomed in. So let's just do that first. Nice with the lights coming on, isn't it? So, anyway. Yeah, well, we say hooter. I know that probably sounds different in American. Like, yeah, it doesn't sound much better in American to think of it. Anyway, I saw this cool chandelier earlier. Look at this. Very nice looking chandelier on the top of this. Beautiful, huh? Here we are peeking into people's homes, but I guess we're not Oh! I just walked into a bicycle. There we go, got you back. Okay, take a little wander along here first. And this building here, I'm going to talk about later. It's the one that's called Father and Son. But what I won't be able to show you from the other side of the canal is the doors. And these doors are Empire style doors. So Empire, that's just after the Louis XVI period. So when I say Empire door, that is what I mean. And eventually, in my reading, I saw one of these referred to. I've always found them quite curious because they're so pretty, and I've never seen them in any other city. And it's called a lantern light. That makes sense, doesn't it? I've only ever seen them here, and I think they're so cool. Because on one of the websites I was looking at, it referred to the Empire doors and the lantern light that they put in above. Well, there you go. Do let me know if I get a drop of water on the lens, because that's probably going to happen, and you might notice before I do. I'm going to stay out of this conversation. Anyway. Oh, London was so cool. Hello, Satyam. Welcome. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. Oh, I better show you across the side of the canal as well, because I'm going to do most of the talking over there. So who has slices? I know Satyam has a slicey. I think who has slices? I think we're taking over the wall. I'm taking over the world with slices. There's a nice view of that. I do, me. Nancy E also has one. Goodness. Annette needs a slicey. You need a slicey. Jackie has one. I just think it really tickles me pink how I've posted sliceys to so many different countries in the world. Okay, Annette. Well, then we better all hold back and let Annette have time to answer the quiz question. Okay. Oh, actually, I do want to show you something from this side. Oh, Mary, you don't have one. Ah, Annette, you got competition. Karen, do the canals ever flood? No. No, they don't. And I can explain why. But let me just first show you this building. It's a modern building. And I think it actually fits in pretty well. Oh, Madeline, you don't have a slicey. Oh dear. Okay, check out this modern building here. It fits in pretty well, but look at the top floor and how absolutely brilliant it must be to live up there. With a mezzanine level. Actually, it looks a bit office-like, frankly, with those lights. Well, how wonderful to work up there then. Right. Okay. So we're on the... Oh yeah, do the canals ever flood? No. And the reason is that the canals are... excuse me. Check the entrance here quick. It's all very tightly controlled with pumps. The water level. You see, if they let the canal water get higher, look at that bridge there. The canal... Range up on the lens. Yeah, I thought there might be. The canal, the canal boats would bash into the bridge, and that wouldn't do anyone any good. So yeah, it's very, very tightly controlled. Okay. So yes, here we are, still on the Herengracht, the Gentleman's Canal. I'm not going to talk about this street yet, I'm going to do that all at once, but there in the distance is the little dome on top of the Royal Palace on Dam Square. Oh, I wish I had another 3 hands. Very helpful. Anyway, let's give this a go. Oops. Okay, let's see. Here comes an Uber, by the way. You can tell by the blue license plate. Taxis and Ubers, even if it doesn't have a taxi sign, have the blue registration plate. I'm talking about blue. Help, I've been wiped. Did I wipe you out? Look at this beautiful boat. Excuse me. Okie dokie. Flagship Amsterdam. So the first house I want to talk about is that one over there, which is called the Blue House. Because of, it's not really blue, it's more grey. But the stone definitely has a bluish tinge to it. That looks it looks quite, well, not modern, but it doesn't look as old as it is to me. It's actually from 1615, which is crazy old. Normally, buildings from that time are already brick, but if you look at the shapes of it, oh, you can see, let me try and zoom in a bit. You can see that they're not unfamiliar shapes for that period. So yeah, 1615, and it was built as a house. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the next pretty boat coming. For this guy called Hans Rombouts. He was a merchant from Antwerp, Yeah, grey house like the weather. And hello Hillary, welcome. He was a merchant from Antwerp, and he was part of the brain drain of people from Antwerp fleeing up here when it fell to the Spanish Habsburgs in 1585. So Amsterdam's gain. And the best known occupant of this house was somebody called Willem van Rijtenberg. Now, you probably don't recognize the name, but I'm pretty sure you're going to recognize the picture. So here he is, circled in red. And that, of course, is the middle of Rembrandt's Night Watch painting. So that dude lived there. Not a bad place to call home, huh? That's true. Now, just so, whoopsie. So it was built as a private home. This part here, yeah, all of those ones. That was added later. And I'll zoom in again for you. And after that, it became a bank. And then the municipal tax office, boo. And then in the 1990s, it became luxury apartments. So here is what it looked like originally. There it is. It looked like that from 1615 until just about the beginning of photography. And you can see next to it how the new entrance was built onto it. Okay. And it's got a really beautiful vaulted basement. I actually recognize the basement structure. They're quite rare in Amsterdam because this is exactly the same basement structure that they have underneath the old Dutch East India Company headquarters, the VOC building. And for many years, in my early days of tour guiding, it's the bicycle store under that building. It was still open, and I walked in there with my groups of sometimes 30 people. Maybe that's why they started locking it. And it's really lovely being in such an interesting space. These are actually made of brick, but they're plastered over here. So it's really interesting sort of cross-ribbed vaulted ceiling. So that's underneath that building, keeping it up. Okay. Now, here we go. Next on our list is this rather impressive building here. Tish, those vaulted ceilings are great. I would happily live in a basement like that. Okay. Maybe with heating and damp-proofing, but and so this was one of the oh look, this is where I parked. Oh, I forgot. I've been looking for my car everywhere. Love to take that for a spin. BMW, very slinky. Okay. Hey, it looks like the rain might be stopping. I'll keep the umbrella up just for a little bit more, but I actually think the rain might be ending. How very cool would that be? Okay, so Donna, hello. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, I just about lost my mic. Damn. Okay, this is going to take some fixing. Okay, I just about lost the. Never mind. Okay, this building here is called the. Stopped raining. Okay, I'm just gonna do up the. It's so much easier if I don't have to hold an umbrella. Okay, sorry, I'm flinging around everywhere. Okay, this building here is was commissioned or was instructed to be built by Pearson and Company. And that was way back in 1918 as the bank's head office. Now, they traded in American shares, including railway shares, and then they focused on seriously rich individuals. Now, up there and there are two details. I came with my proper camera and zoom lens, So the one on the left looks like this, and I lightened it a bit. So that's on the left up there. And these handsome fellas are Mercury, who's the god of commerce, and Neptune on the right, who's the god of the oceans and has lost his fork. And in the middle, interestingly enough, is actually a crest of arms, or coat of arms, or the crest of the United States of America. And on the right, this is what we find on the right. And here we have two female figures, and they represent culture and history. Please don't ask me why, because I haven't got a clue. But anyway, that's what the books say. And in the middle of that crest, we have the Dutch lion. So there we go. Nice details there on the building. And I'm sure that all of you are thinking like, you know what? I recognize that building. I'm sure we've seen a building very similar to it recently. And that's because you would be thinking of this one here, which was last week in good old Banqueting House. To be fair, Banqueting House is just a little grander. But if you count the windows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you look, there's a fairly low ground floor. And then the first floor is kind of high. And then the second floor is a bit less high. And then there's a parapet across the top. So just hold that thought. And then check it out here. We get the same kind of structure, the same kind of proportion. And that's just because it's a good old classical building. Banqueting house based on the proportions of Palladio, and how, you know, the influence of that just echoed down the centuries, hey? Because this building here was from the 1900s. Remarkable, huh? Just the effect of classical architecture. Nathalie, ik weet niet waar je het over hebt. So if you could nog een keer vragen graag. Okay. So, what else have we got on this one? So we got big pilasters here. On Banqueting House, they had ones on that level and that level. These ones are the colossal order, which means that they span at least 2 floors, if not more. And these really give the impression, don't you think, of kind of authority and sturdiness and really reliability. And well, it makes sense because it was a bank and they wanted to put out that kind of image. Up at the top here, the Capitol is a Roman Ionic, and in London last week I went, oh, there's just so much wonderful architecture. So I took these 2 photos, and you can see the Greek Ionic on the left and the Roman Ionic on the right. And they've gone for the Roman Ionic here, indeed, which is usually the case in Amsterdam. They're a bit sticky outy. Okie dokie. And so glad it stopped raining. Okay, so here are 2 more buildings. This is very building orientated, okay? It goes like that. Okay, let me go the other side of this. This Land Rover Defender, the only kind. Okay. Now these 2 here, these 2, are referred to as father and son. For pretty obvious reasons. They're like unequal twins. The one on the left is 3 wide, the one on the right is 2 wide. So you can see why they call them father and son, a Renaissance step gable. And these are the ones with the Empire doors. So the doors are way later. These are built in 1616, and then the doors came in 1790. And actually, I don't have a zoom in, but there's an eagle up here, a double-headed eagle. Perhaps you can see it. Yeah, you can actually. That was later as well. Now this building, oh, I'm getting rain down my neck. Obviously loads of people have lived there. In 1890, the person who lived there was a guy called Jacob Rees. And he had a mate Oh, I think I can see that I need okay, good old tissue. He had this guy, this mate, called Gerard Philips. And what they did is they developed the electric light bulb, and in the form of a carbon filament and a vacuum. You could say they had something of a light bulb moment. We need to say that all day. Okay, and sorry, laughing at my own jokes. Reese, sort of rather oddly, lost interest in the project, and it was taken forward somewhat successfully by Gerard and his dad, who formed Philips and Company, a very, very successful Dutch company still going today. Okay, so hey, look, and now, okay, I'll spin around this way slowly. Like that one. Well, we have to look into that one. Not according to my my research today. Tell me later if it's Philips propaganda or not. It's not awful. It was a really good joke. Okay. Now, here we are, this side of the road. Okay. And yet another big grand building. Ho hum. Now, check out this baby. And the screwdriver. I love it. Now that is a bad joke. Okay, so this building here, first of all, I'm talking about this one here on the left. Okay. This was from 1881. Built as another bank. Could hardly move for banks around here. And the style is eclectic, and look how eclectic it is. So, it's got pilasters, it's got tride lifts. Oops, there. All this this mosaic work underneath on the frieze. Normally we're used to seeing tiled mosaics underneath the curved arches of Neo-Renaissance. And because this is a Neo building, they've taken bits and bobs from everywhere. I quite like it, actually. Oh look, they've even gone the whole kind of over the top swags and what have you. And then they added a bit a year or two later, but they went a bit simpler. I don't know, maybe the budget was being a bit squeezed. Okay, what have we next? Da-da-da. You invented the screwdriver. Oh yes, vodka invented the screwdriver. Absolutely. I love it. Okay. You know what, Annette? For making the best joke of the evening, I award you a slicey. Okay, so please send me your email address, and email me your address. You can find my email in the description section of the tour. Okay, now something else to talk about. I'm sure I am. Okay, let us see. Oh yeah, this building looks so simple from the outside, so I kind of like it. Okay, so JR, look at how beautiful the reflection of the trees looks in the windows. Let's zoom in for that. Oops. Oh, great. Garbage truck coming by. Okay, it's stopping here. Of course it's stopping. Okay. Oh, they're not going. Bye. Okay. Trying to set up such an artistic shop here, and I got a garbage van. Okay. Hop over one more bicycle. Zoom in a little bit more. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Building here. It has a strange name. It's above the door, actually. I'll show you. So just a really ordinary looking building, yeah? And above the door, you'll see it says Het gekroonde hertshoofd, which means the crowned heart's head, or it's being like a male deer. And they were doing some renovations in this house in 1981, so like it's not really so long ago. Okay. And on the first floor they found, behind a false ceiling, like a drop ceiling, painted directly onto the plasterwork, they found this beautiful ceiling painting. It's very rare for paintings to be painted directly onto the plasterwork, and this is of Flora. She's the Roman goddess of prosperity, of flowers and spring, and she has 4 cupids, or putti rather, around her. So isn't that lovely? Isn't it nice? And that was restored in 1982. Wonderful to live there, eh? Okay, and now for something completely different. Let's see how the bikes fly through. Okay. This building here is what you would recall restrained Art Nouveau. And restrained because it's not very showy. And it's, as always here, it's more German Jugendstil type of Art Nouveau as opposed to the Czech or French, the beautiful whiplash stuff. And notably, on the corner is something quite topical to where I was born, is a boer. B-O-E-R, a boer, a farmer. And this building was built in about 1900, and a cigar shop opened downstairs here, and that was called the Transvaalse boer, the Transvaal farmer. So the Transvaal was the area across the across the Vaal River, hence Transvaal. and yes, the river identified as a Vaal. And South Africa was extremely popular in the Netherlands at that time because of the Anglo-Boer War. Because remember, the Dutch had kind of come out a bit second best against the English in their 4 Anglo-Dutch wars. So they were kind of keen on the Boers having a go at the Brits. I come from both British and Afrikaans stock in South Africa, so I have a foot in each camp. Okay, so let's see where we're going now. I can't remember. Was I meant to cross over or not? No, I wasn't. Okay. I really... looks like he's under an umbrella. Sensible fella. Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay. Oh gosh. This is obviously not a good place to stand. Let me show you. Which is exactly where I was going to stand. Oh, I can see the culprits up there. Check this out. You see those 2 blobs in the branch? Okay. Oh, for a shotgun. Anyway, let's stand a little bit this side of the tree then. Okay, I really had to laugh on that when you said about vodka inventing the screwdriver, because on this building here, if you look up, I'm not going to zoom in, I did that earlier. This is the detail halfway up the building. Those are actually oranges. I know they look a bit yellow, but they're actually oranges. Maybe the paint faded. So there's the oranges to go with the vodka. And how's about that? No. No, Griff Law is no relation. I was wondering what a griff is. I'm not too sure. Oh, you know, I wanted to do some views from the bridge. Let's do that. Just to give you some canal views as the light fades, because I'm not going to be at another bridge. I kind of actually like this grey look, especially with the light starting. It's pretty nice to me, actually. Well, it's not raining, so everything sort of is not raining. It's much the same the other side. Yellow jizz. Yep. This bike here doesn't look like one of Warren's ones, although he always does paint the tires, a flower bike man, but it doesn't look ornate enough, and I don't think he would go in for these stickers. But you know, people, to be fair, have been decorating bikes in Amsterdam for decades. It's just that Warren took it to the level of an art form. Okay, now, excuse me, yes, noisy child. And sorry you can hear that. I thought it was just I could hear that. Yeah, you got one of those often, haven't you, Donna? Or is your grandson very good? It's another pretty boat. Check this one out. I can see. Oh gosh, that child. Beautiful. Okay, now next on the list is the Hawkton Hotel, or the Hawks for short. Herengracht number, oh, what is that? I can't remember the number now, never mind. On the Herengracht. And so, I know we're a bit close to it, which is why I took a photograph, and it is over here. So here's the little baby we're talking about at the moment. And what I'm going to do, I popped inside and I actually need to send an email tomorrow or later tonight when I get back in, and they'll send it to the right place. And then I'm hoping to get access here because it's interesting inside. I'll have to come at about 6:30 in the morning when there are no guests around, and then I'll film in the reception areas, and I'm going to actually ask them if they'll let me go inside one of the rooms looking over the canals, and I'll then have that in next week's stream. But with this one here, let's see, the roof, as you can see, is not very Amsterdam-y. It's actually quite a steep French style of roof, and the style is neo-Renaissance or neo-Gothic, whichever you want to call it. It's a combination of the two. This building was actually made for, wait for it, the client was, it already rolls off the tongue, the Company for the Management of the Administration of the American Funds. Okay. And it was pretty much a banking type of thing. And then in 1975 it became the Hotel Rembrandt. And then later it became the Hawkton. So it has, as you would expect, all these different bits. Oh gosh, there's still more. It's just crazy. This iPhone seems to get a lot of water on the lens when it rains, far more so than my Samsung ever did. But anyway, I won't point the phone up. What I wanted to show you is these nice little details of the kind of Gothic details all along the front here. Of course, rustication, which you know, I think all of you know, I hate. I can't stand rustication. I don't know why. You know, that's when they make the ground floor look like it's made out of stone. It's a Renaissance thing. Ugh. Anyway, check out these nice little things. Here's an owl. And I think I can identify them all. Oh, one thing. A minky. This looks like Hermes. Looks like to me that these are like wings on a hat. Mercury or Hermes, whichever you prefer. There's a ram. And now, oh no, so that's the next tree. Not yet, not yet. We have a turtle. No, is it a chicken? It's a chicken. It's got a gobbly gobbly thing underneath. And this was funny. It's hiding behind a plant. But there are two, and they're interacting with each other. So this one here is like, it looks like a cat with its ears back and all its arched back hissing. Yeah. And then over here, it looks like to me something like a fox or something. Kind of, it doesn't look like another cat because the snout. Maybe it is another cat. It's a bit of artistic license. I wish I could get the two together. Oh no, I can't. Anyway. Nice little, and there's an eagle. I think. No, it's a parrot. Parakeet, probably. What else? There's another minky. And more heads. You know, I've never noticed these before, and I've come here a lot. I mean, I've done tours for the hotel, pick people up here. And it's just remarkable the amount of details that I am actually learning about this city on these weekly tours. And it's a bull. Looks like a ram or something. Okay, so hold thumbs. Next week I'll be able to show you around inside. It's just that it's always so busy, you know, and they have a cafe and a bar and everything, so it's not just people staying there who are in the building. Okay. Buildings, 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 buildings. Oh, I was going to talk about the one next to the Hawks. Okay, this one is difficult to see. You know what? I've got it on the on this. Oops, stay level. So it's the building on the right. The rather kind of grubby one, just to the right of the hotel. Is this one? It is. It is noisy. So this is very classical. This is designed by the architect Vingbones. And you'll see the pilasters. It's got these great big Doric ones here. It's got Ionic ones in the middle, Corinthian ones on the top. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. Okay. And we used to be called the White House because the limestone was really white. And now it's not really white, and the one next door is really white. So just about it. Smashed by a car? Okay. Now, almost done. I love not having children. I'm so with you there, Mary Ellen. I mean, I love being an uncle, don't get me wrong, and I love the neighbours' kids, but I like not having my head. Okay, little alleyway here. There's always a bit of street art of changes, as street art does always. Tiny little alleyway. And a lovely bookshop here. This building replaced an old one, obviously. And it's in a sort of neo styles. Really tall. And it has an odd little detail of sort of this Art Nouveau signage here. Magazijn, which means warehouse. And then on this side, kantoor, which means office. So beautiful sign writing, not in keeping with the design of the building, but there you go. And it's a nice, like, really informal bookshop. There's a guy who lives here actually, and he has a bookshop in his front room. I bought a book just yesterday, and really nice one. And he said, he was just joking, he said, open 24 hours a day. If you're in the middle of the night and you really need a book, just knock on the door and he'll open up. It's just kind of sweet. And the last building to talk about today is this one on the corner here. Now, okay, so pan up. It's from 1678. It's got a net gables, the pediment on top. It's got a little pot house. So the pot house would be where the pot would be stored, and that would be the early version of the toilet before flushing. And this house has hardly changed. It has a spiral staircase in it. It's just got one room per floor. And I was actually at a party here some years ago, and it's very, very sweet. It's a very beautiful, small, but really delightful. And a friend stays here as well, actually, and he has some stuff in the window here. So you can't really see because the light's not great, but I got some pictures. Let me just put it away then. Okay, so here, so Todd sells all sorts of stuff, and as you can see, and here he is outside the house, and this is his website. So if you want to buy Amsterdam souvenirs that are more interesting than normal and also have an LGBTQIA plus theme, they don't all, but many do, then Todd designs these things. From t-shirts to bags to fridge magnets, you name it, and often coupling sort of Amsterdam style souvenirs with the rainbow and the progress flag and all that kind of stuff. So that's where you can find him. Toddities, like his name's Todd, and they're oddities.nl, which is for the Netherlands. And here's my fridge with my Toddities, the top 3. Be gay, do crime. And of course, the Delft Blue boys kissing. Because why not? So, let's see. Okay, which brings us to the quiz question. Now, I know there's only a few of you who don't have, oh, I like the way the light bulb looks, who don't have a slicey. So, I'll send out 2 today. Excuse me, 1 to Annette and 1 to whoever wins the competition. So, the question is,
yeah.
Da, 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 da. Okay, so the question is, earlier I showed you a photograph of the top of a building. Yeah, I know, you've seen lots. And the top of the building had some sculptures of different people, different gods. 2 of the gods were Neptune and Mercury. Between Neptune and Mercury was the coat of arms of a country. What country was that? Is today's question. I'll repeat it. So between the statues up on the gable of Mercury and Neptune, there was the coat of arms of a country. What country was that? Okay, just only people who do not have a slicey are allowed to answer. And Mary Ellen said America. Oh no, wait, Natalie. Natalie, I'm sure you have one. Don't you have one? So, my chat's not always right. So who is the first person who answered correctly who doesn't have one, is what I want to know. Okay. Okay. Because, hey, Todd is here. Okay. So let me just, so are you all agreed? Is it Natalie, yeah? Because you know my chat goes funny sometimes. And this is a team effort here. Great, well you let me know. And Natalie, you know how to get hold of me. And Natalie says Madeline. Oh, I just don't know. Let me know later. Okay, let me know later. Okay, so thank you very much for joining, everybody. And and I will see you next week. So have a good week, everybody. By the way, the Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal links are in the description if you want to make a donation. I do appreciate it extremely very much. Yeah, I know Donna said that apparently some of you play a game where you try and tell in advance what the answer to the quiz question will be, because I know that I tend to make it quite obvious. So I decided, well, fine, I'll make it more difficult then. Okay, all right. Bye-bye, everybody.